You know, if you're in the sewing or the fashion industry, we always think of how do I get this done? What do I do to make things easy? This video is about to teach you the 3 important things you need to know that has helped me for over 20 years in my fashion and sewing business. And these tips are definitely going to help you if you put them to some good use. I'll be telling you about the 3 magic ingredients that you need to make your sewing or your fashion business so simple and easy for you to pull through. My name is Aderonke, the Nigerian fashionpreneur. We all know the world of sewing is very vast and wide, and it gets wider and wider by the minute, by the second. Of course, if you don't have someone sewing in your family, a friend has someone sewing in their family. So it's like it's just spreading and it is gaining grounds the more by the day. And surely it will keep increasing. And this is one reason why I love the fashion industry so much. There is so much to learn, so much to explore all the time, new things coming up, new things to discover, new things to just start thinking about and planning on how to get them done for yourself or for your clients. Well, for those who are interested in it, because some people are just satisfied with where I am, I'm okay, I'm going nowhere, this is where we sit here and we stay here. I'm not one of those. I always want to step the game up every time, because it takes you need to be relevant in the industry if you want people to patronize you, if you want more clients, if you want your business to grow and gain the visibility you need. You must stay relevant and current with the trends. I will be sharing the 3 magic ingredients that will make your sewing simple, enjoyable, and just right for you. These are my secrets. I'm sharing it, so be ready to delve into them and to keep them like secrets. As a fashion designer, there are days that I get stuck. Like there is something blocking here and I can't think, or probably you are thinking and I'm like, how do I do this? What do I want to do? How do I achieve this? We all get to that block. For writers, they call it writer's block. For sewing people, a sewing block or designing block. There's a point where your head just doesn't want to go further anymore. You're just stuck. If you have ever been there, you understand this. I've been there several times, a lot of times. And these things are tips that has helped me to scale through smoothly, easily, enter my hit those blocks. And when I hit those blocks, what happens to me? I ask myself different questions like, what patterns are right for this design I'm working on? Because for every design you're working on, you have patterns you want to work with. Or for the design your client gives to you, you're looking at this and you're like, okay, what pattern am I going to use? Patterns are always something I get to think of, because I don't want to be creating new things all the time, but you still have to create new things all the time. Building patterns, building fabrics, they are always hectic for me. I'm bothered. And because I sew for individuals, I create individual pieces and bespoke pieces, it's a big deal. For those who make ready to wear, they may not really have this problem. But for those who make bespoke pieces, you think of, you're making for 10 people different designs and you're thinking of 10 different patterns. Honestly, it is not easy at all. And my second question at times is, what fabric do I use to get a perfect interpretation? Let's talk about interpretation of styles. How your style comes out, how your design comes out, has a lot to do with the fabric you choose, the accessories you choose, because some styles are so beautiful. And you know, in the cases of, I've always seen this around, what I ordered versus what I got, sometimes the issue at hand is not about the designer, it's about the choice of fabric made either by the client or by the person designing. So when the fabric is wrong, you don't expect to get a right or a very perfect result. Obviously, it's going to be lopsided as well. So I always think about it when your client brings something, or some instances, your client brings in the fabric and I realize this fabric cannot work for this style, and you're telling them and they do not want to agree to it. All they are saying is, this is what I have and this is what I want to do. It gives me a headache, honestly. So talking about fabrics, in addition to that, when you're sewing, when you're doing your buying fabrics and you're choosing fabrics, listen to this. It can make or mar your project. So look at the fabric very well, meticulously, and look at it. Can this fit? If it doesn't fit, please discard it and use something else. I've had instances I've told my clients, I'm sorry, this fabric cannot make this design. And when they choose to be strong-headed about it, I tell them, oh, maybe you find someone else, because it's going to be a dent on my image, a dent on my brand if I do something and it doesn't work, because some of them do not understand and they'll be the first to drag you. Another question I often ask myself is, how can I make things that myself and my clients will want to wear, love to wear, or want to wear? I think I mentioned it in one of my past videos, the recent videos. If you go back to the channel, you can scroll through. I mentioned a couple of things about it, because it's another thing for you to want to make something. It's another thing for you to make what people want or love to wear. And I think this is a very a very essential part of your fashion business. When you're planning your business, don't plan on what you like, plan on what will sell. It's another topic entirely, but that's not where we're going today. Today's about sharing this three magic ingredients that has helped me, and they help me a lot. You know, it makes things easy, makes my job simplified, and it gives me a lot of speed when it comes to progress or work advancements, or when I'm trying to achieve a lot of things. It makes things easier for me. This is my lifelong health secret I'll be sharing for the first time with you. The first one is patterns. Ta-da! Looks like patterns. Why? Yes, patterns. They're very important. Keep your patterns. They make your life easier. There is no better way to say it. There is no other way I can say it. Keep your patterns. They make your life easier. I often tell my students when they make patterns for their first projects, like, do not discard these things. Don't throw them away. They come in handy. You know, it's your work. For instance, first of all, you spend time building the patterns. You spend time developing it. Then when you're done, you trash them. Why would you trash what you can use for 100 more jobs just at one go? No, you have to know the importance of keeping your patterns and keeping them well too, because they will save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of stress, and that results into more productivity and more money. It is so easy to adapt and cut new patterns with the existing ones that you've had earlier. This is just simple things to do. And this concerns bespoke designers more. It's more about those, if you're ready to wear, I said this earlier, you don't really have problems with this because you probably have the pattern you use for the bulk production. But if you're into bespoke sewing, this concerns you more. If you want to cut for every client, you wear yourself out. You cannot say, I want to cut for A and B and C. You're going to get tired along the way. Some people are same sizes, or they're probably an inch bigger, an inch smaller, 2 inches bigger, 2 inches smaller. Pattern adaptation will help. You know, it's easy to cut with a pattern you have built for a size 14, because size 14 could be different. Some people are 12 up, they're 14 down. But when you have existing basic patterns, you don't even have to like use them like that. You can just put them on your pattern to cut another one and work with that one. And you have a basic template you're using almost all the time. Like for my pencil skirts, for my pieces skirt, for gold skirts, for blouses, for bustiers, for corsets, for the bustiers, for all that. I always have the pattern that I have cut for different sizes I've used over the time. And when I'm cutting for someone else, I just look at the sizes and the slight differences and amend them when I'm cutting the fabric. It makes my job fast and easy. And sometimes it's just by length or by height. A balance point. So if that's the case, it's easy. Just use the pattern that you've had and you kept in your workspace, adapt them, and you do not have to cut from the beginning all the time. Or if you're the type that cut directly from fabric, you don't have to go through the stress of cutting the same thing over and over. Have some patterns that you can work with. If you look at your measuring book, if you look at your client list, you realize that so many sizes are common. And if I have this, they have like bust 42 is common, bust 44 is common, if 44 is common, if 50 is common. I have them already. So I just pick them, I use them to cut. You know, when I have my workers, and there are times that I do all the cutting myself. Apparently, I like cutting my clothes myself because it makes me monitor things easily. When it is not bulk production, when it is just a one-on-one thing, I prefer cutting them myself. So they wonder when I ask them to cut, and they're probably cutting maybe like 10, 2, 3, 4, 5 clothes, and I'm done with 12 or 15. And they ask like, how did you do it? I just smile. But for those who really work very close to me and they've been to my office, they know that I always look for effective ways how to do things fast, because you must think of, if you want to make money, one of the things you think of is, I want to make money. How much can I achieve within an hour? I shared my story sometimes with someone. I said, when I started this business, my first plan was not to stay in Nigeria. And I thought about it. If I stay outside the country, can I afford paying workers per hour on how much they earn there? I cannot. I couldn't afford it. Then I said, okay, let me train myself on how to be very, very fast. There's a video on my channel about how to sew very fast. I explained a bit of how I achieved this step. It will help you. You can go through, look through it, watch the video. It will really help you. So I thought about that. Now, if you think about this, you know the essence of, if you say you can cut 20 or 10 clothes in a period of time, some people look at you like, how did you do that? And that's what I do. If you have worked with me or if you have been to my office or workspace, you know this is real, and this is a secret that has helped me. It will help you if you put this in mind and you start practicing the same way I practiced and mastered it. So adapt. Don't cut all the time. You will get tired. You will get tired. Don't get tired, adapt, and always improvise on your adaptation. The secret number 2, what is it? It is called process. Understand the process. No one is a perfect expert. Especially if you don't own a factory with hundreds of workers yet. You probably work alone or you have few workers here and there assisting you in your workshop. For every garment or style you're making, know how the steps work. Know steps 1, 2, 3, which one comes first, which one after. There is no expert to this thing, because some people, you assume, oh, I've known this for a while, I've been doing this for years, I cannot make mistakes. Mistakes has no master. Like they will say in my land, mistakes has no master. Ashishio Loga. No one is above it. So if you don't want to be a victim of your master, so to so skills, learn how to do this. Process, write the process out. For some styles in sewing, if you understand me very well, if you miss a step, you've missed a big thing, because you probably have to rip out and re-sew. Now imagine missing a step and you have stopped stitched maybe the neckline, or you have fixed the zipper. I mean, taking out zippers is one thing I do not like doing in my sewing, and things can happen. But if you have your process listed out, if you have not made a mistake in your sewing before, well, this may not matter to you, but I have made mistakes, and I still make mistakes if I'm not very careful, because no one is above it. Write the process down. When I'm making some bespoke clothes like bridal wears especially, I always try to write a list down, like this one, after you put interfacing, you put this, after this the boning, after the boning I do the loops, after the loops the lining, because if I don't do this, sometimes it will turn the whole thing. You have to start all over again, start ripping things out, and this gets so discouraging for you when you sew. So write out the process. It will help you, and it will not just help you. By the time you start hiring people, hiring more staff, having more, it will help you have a plan for your workshop. It will help you plan duties out. You know, if you go to advanced workshops, you see that this person is doing this, that person is doing this, and the way they are lined up is when you do this, you give it to the next person. So when you have this plan, when you're used to this now, by the time you're having a well and a more organized workspace, you already know that, okay, you sit here, the next person sits here, and your work is easy and seamless and no stress. And this is like a big help, an all-round help, because it's helping you, it's helping your time management, your staff management, and your business management, and your factory or workshop management. So this process can look like one, but it's a big thing that can help you overall in a grand way. Private classes for fashion business owners or fashion designers, and also the one for staff management, in case you want to train your staff on efficiency and how to help you make life easier, because I know what staff can do. They can really be a pain in the neck, but they can be managed as well. I have classes where I teach all this private classes. If you want to know more about it, contact me and I'll be here to assist you in every way I can to arrange a class or sessions for you. When you join, I'll walk you through the plan and the path to having a very successful fashion business. This tip has helped me over 2 decades in my sewing, so be my guest. I'll be willing to share them with you in the private one-on-one classes. It covers different steps to help clarify your own goals as a person, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, to make plan and to make things happen. So I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. My contacts are there in the comment section. Number 3 secret, which is the last one, is progress. Sounds like process, so we have 3. Remember, the first one is patterns, the second is process, and the third is progress. This monitor your growth. It may seem like nothing is happening. Trust me, a lot and lots of things are happening in that business that looks like, oh, we've been on the same space, on the same stage for months, and the same stage for weeks. No, you haven't been on that stage for weeks. Things are happening, but because you're not monitoring them, because you're not documenting them, you don't know. It's like when you live with someone and they probably add weight or they lose weight or the complexion changes, you do not always notice. The outsider notices first. The same thing happens to your business because you're there in the midst of it. Sometimes you don't notice. So you have to consciously monitor your progress, because it will help you, it will encourage you, and it will let you know, should I continue, should I start, should I improvise, or should I leave this business entirely and move on to something else? Because for me, it's not a do or die affair. If a business is not working for you, there are millions of things to choose from. There are millions of things to do. Look back, go back to your plan, your vision board, your vision books, your whatever. Go back to yourself, ask yourself questions, and decide all over again. Now, if you love to sew and you want to get more intentional about it, or if you love to start a fashion business or expand or grow your fashion business, and this year you've said, I want to get more intentional about developing my business, my sewing skills, my personal life, then subscribe to my channel. There'll be lots of hints this year. I'm ready to be dishing it out back to help everyone in the best way I can. Subscribe and follow my pages, follow my social handles, look for them, and the tips are dropping day by day. Just read, swallow, take it and digest them. These are things I do. Development is one thing. I tell people whenever I get the opportunity to speak, I say I do not go to bed a day without reading or learning something new. It's been a part of me for a very long time, and I'm sticking to it until forever. And do not forget the 3 secrets we shared today: patterns, process, and progress. There are 3 simple things. They may look like they're not together, but they will help you if you put them to use. They're like magic ingredients that will make things soar and work for you better this 2024. So I'll see you in my next video. Stay good as always.